haters, so you came to win. Let's go. Blue market, so we going in. It's going up. Going by your mama beans. It's going up. We flip it, then flip it again. It's going up.
What is up, YouTube? This is Hendrix on Chain, one of the best traders out here in the entire YouTube verse, metaverse, real world, whatever you want to call it. We're gonna get right into it. I'm gonna give you some details about what's going on. I'm gonna try to keep it layman terms for everybody. Like, subscribe, you know the drill. I'm not gonna force anybody to do anything they don't want to do. But first, let's talk about Bitcoin. Pretty much, I'm not gonna go into great details, but as you can see here, Bitcoin has pretty much been trading sideways for the last couple of days. I have a weekly chart just to give you guys a bigger time frame. Just a quick notations because I don't want to keep this video too long. Just so you know, 30K is definitely going to be a major support line for Bitcoin right now, and it continues to be that way until something changes. Right now, if you understand charts, you would know that we want to see things making higher lows. Right now, Bitcoin pretty much made a bit of a higher low here and is holding support. One of the most important things that I will go ahead and I'll continue going forward is to understand that Bitcoin is basically following the charts of the U.S. stock markets, which would be the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ. As you can see, this is pretty much a similar pattern. It's head and shoulders, which I'll put more details or image on the side so you can see. As you can see, we have almost the same exact identical pattern, which is happening here, just like with Bitcoin, and we have it here, which is basically indicating that the S&P is trying to make a higher low in order to make what we want to see is what like a bull market or so. But we basically want the trend to be a lot higher. So as you can see, Bitcoin is basically the same, and you have the S&P, which is basically two identical patterns. And as you can tell, if you guys haven't noticed with the markets, everything is based on what the main market is going to do. If the big boys are gonna move, if the S&P 500, if the NASDAQ is going to move north, then Bitcoin will follow. If the S&P and the NASDAQ move down, right now Bitcoin will follow. So, which means Bitcoin can go up or down depending on the whatever the major markets do, which include the S&P 500 or the NASDAQ. Unfortunately, we were thinking that crypto would be a hedge. But at this current state of February 16, 2022, with rising inflation rates, with home prices going to all-time highs, with the average home price right now in America is $411,000. The Fed right now has been having board meetings talking about raising interest rates. A lot of you guys might not understand what that means for you, but if you have any bad debt, such as credit cards or things of that nature, which have an interest rate, what that could easily mean for you is that your interest on that credit card could go up. So if you have an 18% interest rate, it could go up based on the basis points that the Fed decides to raise with rates. This is something very important that a lot of you guys don't understand, and I'll go on in a later video based on the comments. Just trying to keep it short and sweet, just so you guys can get a good synopsis of what's going on in the world. Today we have Bitcoin currently at 44,000, Ethereum at $3,140, and one of the most important things that we have to understand, what is driving the markets right now, is basically news. There's been a lot of things going on in the market regarding Ukraine. There's allegations of war going on at this current state. And those things are affecting the outlook of our economy. As you can see, there's the Canadian trucker thing that's going on. Ukrainian president preoccupied with domestic political rivals despite looming Russia threat. It's just a bunch of games going on right now. The United States are saying that, hey, Russia is going to attack. We don't know. But all of these things are causing massive swings, not only in the major markets, but also in the crypto markets as well. Going forward, some major things are happening in the crypto markets. Just to keep at it, we're getting a lot of investments in the space, and we can't deny what's going on. I mean, a couple years ago, this was pretty much the easiest thing to deny, with Jamie Dimon saying Bitcoin is a scam. but as Mastercard at one point was blocking people from buying cryptocurrencies. If you guys have been around long enough, like I have since 2014, you will remember all of these FUD stories. And now, a couple years later, not even a couple. I mean, 2014. How many years is that? That's about 8 years ago. Now we have players coming into space. We got Mastercard. Mastercard announced Tuesday the expansion of its payments focused consulting service. Among the new practices is one dedicated to crypto and digital currencies, the company wrote, noting that it is helping banks navigate the adoption of digital currency. The payments giants detail Mastercard consulting efforts with banks and merchants cover a range of digital currency capabilities, from early stage education, risk assessments, and bank-wide crypto and NFT strategy development to crypto cards and the design of crypto loyalty programs. I mean, the adoption is happening. It is lining up pretty much with, Agenda 2030. If you guys have not heard about it, do some research on that. We're pretty much going into a technological age where things are now going to be based on artificial intelligence, the blockchain, drones. It's going to be a different world that we're going into, and blockchain and cryptocurrency will be leading that revolution that we're walking into. We have another issue going on with Binance, a major player in the space. The SEC is basically scrutinizing, Binance. Let's take a look at what they said. The U.S. Securities Exchange Commission is reportedly probing the U.S. arm of the cryptocurrency exchange Binance. The securities watchdog is examining the relationship between Binance U.S. and two trading firms with ties to Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao. I don't know how to say his name, but CZ as we know him on Twitter. The two firms are Sigma Chain AG and Merit Peak Ltd. They act as market makers that trade cryptocurrencies on the Binance US exchange. However, the SEC alleges that Binance US did not disclose to its customers the links between the exchange and the two trading firms, the people say, adding that the SEC has requested information about the two companies. This is big, guys. This is very big. I'm going to tell you why in a minute. On Wednesday, Fox Business interviewed SEC Chairman Gary Gensler about the Binance US news and the SEC's efforts to regulate the crypto space. While the SEC chief did not specifically comment on the Binance US probe, he cited basic investor protection as the key driver for all of the SEC's actions. Most of the activities in the asset class, $2 trillion, is happening on centralized exchanges or lending platforms. He proceeded to talk about the enforcement action against cryptocurrency lender BlockFi. The company has agreed to pay $100 million to settle charges with the SEC and state regulators. Let me tell you something, guys. The cryptocurrency market is going to get regulated. And right now, this is the wild, wild west. And when I mean the wild, wild west, this is the only time period in the last few years that we'll probably be able to make all of this kind of money without coins ever again. I mean, once regulation comes, a lot of these coins won't even be allowed to trade in the United States. And with things like this happening, I mean, just with BlockFi, $100 million to settle charges. I mean, you have to understand that regulation is bound to come. But just to talk about this Binance issue, you have what are called market makers, and these people make markets for the transactions. When you go and you put bids on Bitcoin, or you put bids on Solana, or bids on Cardano, there's market makers that are filling those orders. Those are called market makers. So you have a serious conflict of interest here with Binance basically, acting as market makers within their exchange. And how can you have proper regulation when you have exchange, a centralized exchange, acting as a market maker? That only further fuels corruption and wash trading. You have two market makers going ahead and saying, okay, you bid the price, you sell the price, and they're in control of those things, and they can easily manipulate the market. So, I mean, as you have seen throughout the years with a lot of these cryptocurrencies and firms and, things that have been going on with the SEC, a lot of these people are not even getting shut down. They have so much money. And what is the SEC doing? Fining them. Hey, pay us $100 million and you can get out of the situation or face jail time. Maybe that's what they're offering. And these people have $500 million so much money and assets with on their exchange. They have so much volume, $1 billion in transaction volume. You think Binance is gonna get shut down for that? Never. They'll probably pay 200 million just to get out of that situation. But this is pretty much where we are, guys, in the market. I'll post some more videos just to give you guys some more education. If you like what I'm doing, subscribe. We do have NFT projects. We do have a lot of things that are going to be coming out. You'll see them shortly. And, keep Hendrix on Chain on your radar. Again, this is going to be big. Later.
Hey, you a trader, so you came to win. Let's go. Blue market, so we going in. It's going up. Going by your mama beans. It's going up. We flip it, then flip it again. It's going up.